Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Speaker in the Spotlight, which is your chance to get to meet some of our speakers a little bit better, find out more about them in the upcoming Children's Mental Health Matters Summit, which starts on the 16th of September. So it is literally just around the corner. If you haven't yet got your ticket, they are free and you can get them from the Children's Mental Health Matters Summit.co.uk website, and the link will also be with this video. Today we are welcoming Sam Rawlings. So hello, Sam.
Hi, Cassie.
How are you doing?
Really good, thank you. Yep.
Awesome. Amazing. So without further ado, I'm going to hand straight over to you and ask you to tell us a little bit about you as a person, you know, your hobbies and things like that. So yeah, over to you.
Thank you. So my name is Sam Rawlings. I'm a mum. I'm a grandma of 4 grandchildren. I had to think now. The youngest is about 4 months old. And then I've got a granddaughter who's 4 and 2 grandsons who are in their teens. And I just love spending time with them. In fact, I even took the grandsons on a holiday last week to Wales. We had a wonderful time. I'm very creative in my personal as well as my professional life. And that's changed my kind of how I see myself as well, and my own beliefs and my own kind of self-worth a lot. I've been part of a book collaboration, haven't I, Cassie?
You have indeed.
Hold On to Hope, which was a massive cathartic experience, but I got so much from it and felt that I was being heard and listened to as well, which made a big difference to my life. I'm a podcaster. It started off as a Facebook series, and now I do podcasts for loads of different people around inspirational stories, I guess, and mental health. I love being out in nature. I also use nature a lot to see the colours and the kind of creative side of it as well. And I think sometimes being a creative, you can quickly become overwhelmed. You can sometimes like take it as in you're like you're not good enough, and that was me for a long time. Whereas now I'm kind of moving away from that, and it's like it's okay if it's not perfect. In fact, I don't like things that are properly perfect now, because that reminds me of the old me where I criticised others, and I would be anxious if, like, in my professional jobs, if things weren't right, and my home life as well. So yeah, what else do I like doing? Oh yes, so 6 months, well, more than 6 months ago, really. Now I joined a theatre group, and that was about my confidence, particularly in my business world. Going to events and how I struggled to speak, to open up, to talk. So I joined a theatre group. I've been in the choir for a long time, but I'd got to a stage where just with singing wasn't enough, and I needed to move. And I think, again, it goes back to that creative side. And wow, it's just made such a difference to my life. Joined February, and by 2 weeks I was in the show. One of the wonderful like group members, they couldn't continue at the time, so I was kind of said, oh yeah, you're here. Okay, what am I doing? I was so nervous. Honestly, I was so nervous. And I've seen videos like the rehearsal videos, so we've got something to watch, and just seeing them, like how I started off, I looked like I'd aged about 40 years. I was walking all hunched up and really slow, and that anxiety, the aura of anxiety must have been absolutely crazy. The energy I was giving off, because I was absolutely petrified. But I decided that I wanted to do this. I wanted to do it. And at first I thought it was about relationships, because I have struggled with relationships for a long time. I've had a husband, I've had partners, and even family relationships. And at first I did think that was the missing part in my life, relationships. Nah, not at all. Absolutely not. Once I joined the theatre group and got my first pair of jazz shoes, like, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the world. And what I've learned from this, because I am very reflective, and I think sometimes it's good to do that. We journal, don't we? And, we process things. And for me, it's that reflective side, is that I've lived my dreams and desires to perform on stage through my daughters, because they danced when they were young. So obviously they were performing in school and, and that side of it all and everything. And through dancing, because they were doing competitions, they were on stage. And I were never able to do that as a child. Loads of reasons. One of them were financial, one of, other reasons. And so for me, it's almost like that desire has never been fulfilled. And it's almost like I've tried to put other things in the way, thinking that's fulfilled them, and it hasn't at all. No. So when I joined the theatre group and knew that I was going to be performing on stage, that's when it changed for me.
Yeah.
And I threw myself into it, not in a scary way, but like, yes, I'm doing this. This is what I want to do. And being able to wear the costumes and have all your hair. I had all my hair done for the show, you know what I mean? I had it all waved and curled, and I bought myself some really lovely makeup and things. So I spent so much effort and energy on me as well. I just loved it. And I am left. I'm not leaving. And we're doing a pantomime in December. So...
Wow, that is amazing. And obviously I've known you for a couple of years now, and just seeing your journey has been, incredible. It really has been amazing. And I've loved and been honoured to be a part of that along the way. So you've mentioned creativity a lot, in what you love to do. So tell us a bit about your business and sort of why you started that, who you help, and that sort of thing, how that links into your love of creativity.
Okay, so I've always worked with children, about 30 odd years now, probably. A long time in jobs. So I started off in nurseries, then went into schools, did children's homes, children's society, all sorts of different kind of settings with children from basically 3 months upwards. And I was in the nursery at the time, and I was kind of told that you're really good at listening. There were so many lovely compliments about the way I worked. And I was working a lot with parents as well, because obviously these children are quite young. So you need that relationship, don't you? So every job I've done, relationships been really important. But my own relationships, as I briefly mentioned, have been quite torn. Do you know what I mean? Difficult. Even when my daughters were younger as well, I was a single parent for quite a lot of years, and trying to balance that life, that trying to get your social life and your work life and your family life. It's so difficult. And I think it come to a stage where I realized that I could do more than working with the young children, with the nursery children, and that's when I went into counselling. But before that, I was having my own really intense therapy. And the therapist says to me, oh, well, it's over 10 years now. It'll be 12 years. So, and says to me, like, you would make an amazing therapist. And I just looked at her and laughed, like you do. And she also said, I don't know if I told you this, Cassie, or not, but you can write a book. And I was like, no chance.
Well, there you go.
And then 10 years later, there I am, because I saw your Facebook group, and I was drawn and all that kind of stuff. But before that, so I went into counselling. I went to train. Interesting, I didn't train as a children's counsellor. Part of that was trying to get the time off work as well to do it. I couldn't. So I went to a different course. But when I qualified, and because of my own childhood trauma, where I was looking to like get placements and experience, it was just too much for me. I couldn't do it. I had to just walk away. So I ended up working in a children's home because I needed to get out of the nursery. I wasn't getting what I needed from there. Within 3 weeks of starting this job, I broke my foot, and basically I couldn't go to work for 9 weeks. And in that time, actually, and we're given time for a reason, aren't we? We're given that space and time to almost stop, slow down, whatever we're doing, to actually, again, reflect, process, what the heck's going on, kind of thing. Why is this happening to me? And then when you kind of step away, I couldn't see that then, but now I can see it as in like that stepping away and going, okay, this happens for a reason. The universe is saying something to me. And basically what the universe was saying, that all this experience you've got working with children and families all these years, and you're just going to go work with adults as a counsellor. Hello? Wait a minute. So then I went to work, volunteer at Place to Be for 2.5 years, did their qualification. And then I thought I needed a degree after that. And a lot of this has been about that not good enough. And basically, the tutor at the end of the course says, you do not need a degree, Sam. You've got everything you need now to be able to do what you want. I was still not 100%. And when I joined BACP, which I joined in college, so that's the organisation for counsellors, and I were like, oh, so what do I need to be able to be a children's counsellor? Because again, degree in my head. And they sent me all the information for like the children's forum and everything. I looked at it and I'm like, I've done all that. I do that. I'm doing that all the time. So then it was almost like I was given permission to go, right, okay, I can do this now. I can set up my business. And what I'd realised over time when it got to like another year after that, so that was COVID, so I worked a lot online. It was very creative. Even though it was online, it was still very creative. I worked for like an EAP for children called Mabel Therapy, and they had like all these different resources and everything, and I got too drawn into that, and I'm like, wait a minute, where am I? Hello, where's Sam in all this, the counsellor? And then I left them because I felt I wanted to develop what I was doing in my practice. Had my title as the longest mouthful, honestly, ever. Children and young people's person-centred counsellor. I'm going to swear now. What the f*** was that all about? But that was my starting point, because my anxieties were still so high that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And then we come out of COVID, and I decided I wanted to go online, face-to-face. And that was the best thing I did, because the amount of families that it just started to flow then and come in and everything. And I would getting all these families I were able to support. And then it went back to me when I was at college. They used to say to me when we did like small activities that you're creative, you. And I'm like, no. You see, every time somebody's give me these wonderful comments and compliments about myself, I pull them back and go, no. Who are you talking? No, not me. No chance. And it sat in my head, and I'm like, I can't even say that title. It doesn't sound right. I'm not just a person-centred, I use that a lot. A person-centred counsellor. I'm almost integrative now, because I've started bringing these other things in. Do you know what I mean? I'm not pure person-centred. But to be an integrative counsellor didn't feel right for me either. And basically that's when you've got all these different things. So I changed it to be a children's creative counsellor. And I came alive. The families that started coming to me became different. They were more aligned to me, so more my ideal client that I wanted. And a lot of the times I got this real comment about, it's your smile, it's your smile. And I always had my logo from starting my practice in a business. Although it wasn't a business at first year, I was just a counsellor, honestly. That basically it wasn't right. So then I started bringing loads and loads of resources in and things like that. And at the similar time, 2022, I started a school counsellor job first job, employed job, had been valued.
Yeah.
But we didn't have our own kit. We had to provide our own kits. Well, I like to get lots of things. So I went through Facebook Market, eBay, Amazon. Oh my gosh, loads and loads and loads. And then when I went to start working, I got these massive Aldi carrier bags because I got so much. I don't know what to take now, so I need to take everything.
Take it all.
So everywhere I've gone, the schools that I've worked in, and like even where I have my practice, I hire a room. She said there's a cupboard space. Well, you can imagine it's full to capacity. My bedroom, because I'm now changing, so I'm starting a new contract this week in my school job, which will be just one high school. And before I were in 4 primary schools and a high school. So my bedroom now, it's just full. And I'm like, there's too much. I need to declutter. I can't cope with all this now. I feel overwhelmed.
You've got more stuff now than when your kids were younger.
Yes, absolutely. And what's come from all this, I know it's really long-winded, but it's almost been the timeline, the story, that I am creative. I'm extremely creative. I now say I am a creative because I know I am. And it isn't about having pens and it isn't about having paintbrushes, because that was my massive barrier and I thought that was to do with being in school and art. It was actually to do with my childhood trauma at the time when I connected. When you start connecting things, it makes such a difference to yourself.
Yeah.
And now I kind of put myself out there. Do you know what I mean? Let me try something new. Let me step out of my comfort zone. Let me be creative. And I see it all the time around me. I see the colours. And that is why I now wear my branding colours, because this is who I am, you know? And to me, yellow is very much around feelings. I do a lot of work with feelings, and we use so much creativity, colours, you know, connecting to the selves as well. And it makes so much sense to me now. And this has been my calling. I believe this has been my calling all these years, to do this, because I wasn't heard as a child at all. I wasn't listened to. So I want to create this space, the space I use for my families to be able to say, I'm hearing you, I'm listening to you. And that means parents as well.
Yeah. And that's amazing. And it's amazing, isn't it, that when you find your true sort of passion and calling and everything, how quickly then, you know, whether you want to call it the universe or God or whoever, then makes things. So you said in 2022, you had that realization that you were a children's creative counsellor. And my goodness, since then, your journey has just gone forward. You know, it's like as soon as you're like, universe goes, finally, you know, she's got it. Yes. And then everything else just follows. And as I say, it has been amazing to watch and to see, you know, your journey and your confidence and everything, and you know, be a real life example of what it is to you know, live, rediscover and live your true life, really is what I see within you. So if people do want to get in touch or find out a bit more about what it is that you do, where is the best place? Your links will go with the interview, but where's the best place to see you or to follow you or to contact you?
So I have an amazing website, and I'm making it big. It's colourful. It's very colourful, like me and everything. But you can find it on on Instagram. I have a link called Linktree. And there's everything on there that people want to see. You can get my Facebook. You can find my the profile on the Psychology Today. So if, you know, parents of the children think that they need support and things like that. So that is the best place, I would say, Cassie, for people to find me. As I said, there's lots on there.
Yeah, and Sam's Linktree link is with this, so just click on there and then you'll be shown everywhere to go. So just a bit of a change of direction now as we start to close up. So you are actually a returning speaker, so this is your second summit that you've taken part in. So what was it, first of all, that drew you last year to want to take part within the summit, and then why have you wanted to return, basically?
So last year was the first time I'd done anything like that, and even though I was so embarrassed about my actual talk because it was recorded and I couldn't do anything about it, and I sat there and watched it and saw all the massive mistakes as I saw it at that time, it were like, well, I've got more to share. I'm this different person, and I want to be able to help people and let them know all the different ways that they can be helped. It's not just, let's get the just out. It's not about counselling. There's all sorts of other things, other ways that we can help create this massive pot of support for families.
Yeah, amazing. And we are really pleased to have you back this year. And so just to sort of finish up, really, would you want to give us all just a little sneak peek of what you will be covering in your talk?
Absolutely, thank you. So well, it's about creativity, because that's what's really important, and that's my passion as well. But it's about how that helps families, and I think one of the things that I've realised is I've always worked with children and parents, but now it's about parents having that support as well. So I've started bringing in new offers that is about for parents, but also the way that we use creativity can be in our day-to-day life, and that can almost reduce our anxiety as well. So there's lots of little tips and lots of little strategies, and also it's quite fun as well.
It is, and I would highly recommend watching Sam's presentation, and I love her slides. So we will,
oh yes, what's it about then?
If you want to know why I love them so much, you will have to tune into Sam's presentation. Yes. But it's been really lovely having you with us today, Sam. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we sort of finish properly, is there anything else you just wanted to say quickly that I haven't covered, or do you feel that we've covered everything?
No, I just want to say thank you to you, Cassie, because you almost not rescued me, but you was there that kind of when I needed you to kind of, do you know what I mean? When I needed that support to kind of get out of where I were in this rut. And then from there, it's just being able to just grow and evolve and just change and believe. And I have those connections with you as well. And yeah, so I just want to say thank you to you for what you do and the amount of support and effort and energy you put into everything as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your lovely words. I'm not very good at accepting nice words, so we will I'm working on it. But thank you so much for joining us today, Sam. It's really lovely to talk to you. And please do join us again soon for another speaker in the spotlight. But for now, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.